Hey guys, this is Adam. I'm going to do a video talking about Donald Trump. So the situation with Donald Trump is he's actually helping. He's doing a lot of good. A lot more good than people realize. I don't particularly like the guy as a person. He's a racist, a misogynist. That's pretty obvious at this point. He's also an elitist. He's a billionaire. That's the kind of behavior somebody should expect from a billionaire. The kind of behavior that makes you think you're better than other people, that makes you think that somehow by you acquiring all this money, you are somehow above the rest of us. Like, we're not even on the same species level as these people. This is kind of how these billionaires think. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And you have to remember that they had to be very forceful and demanding of what they wanted to get into the position that they're at. So nothing about Donald Trump's behavior should surprise anybody, really. Now, that being said, aside from Donald Trump as a person, he's actually doing a lot of good things. And he's trying to do a lot of good things. And I believe that he wants to do a lot of good things. He is not friends with the Rothschilds. That's his biggest problem right now, is having to find a way to fight against them, but also keep the status quo. It's not an easy thing to do, and the Zionists and the Rothschilds know that he's not supporting them. The Rothschilds also own the media, which is a big part of why there's so much anti-Trump media out there. There's so much more going on behind the scenes than people realize, and I think that if people actually understood what was happening behind the scenes, they would be a lot more willing to give Trump a shot at what he's trying to do. They just see a rich, white, racist misogynist and think, oh, it's the same old story. Same old story over and over again, and we don't want to get duped again. I don't blame them. I would just say be patient. Be patient and watch and see how this thing plays out. Donald Trump is trying to get rid of the Satanists and the pedophiles that have been controlling things for a long time. People don't realize this, but pedophilia and Satanism are rampant in politics, all over the place. That's part of how they keep the old boys network. That's how their policies get passed. That's how a lot of the times politicians are selected because of these particular sexual proclivities, because they're easier to control. It's just that simple. If you're trying to control the politicians, it's a lot easier to control them if you got something like this to blackmail them with. So Trump is really doing his best to try to clear out the swamp, to use his term. I think he bit off more than he could chew. Absolutely. The situation is way more complex than people realize, and I think that people just need to step back and let him do what he's doing and not be quite as judgmental. As a person, yes. As a person, he's terrible. But as a person, he's no better or worse than all the other presidents that we've had. All of them, including Obama. And Obama is just as much in line with these pedophiles and these Satanists and these drug runners as anyone else. And all this information is coming to light now too. These people are being exposed. The Clintons and their corrupt practices. I mean, the Clintons, the Bush family, they're both involved in sex trafficking, drug trafficking, pedophilia, Satanism. I mean, the whole bit. This information's out there. People can look this information up. Grandpa Bush was a Nazi. He helped support the Nazis through the Union Banking Corporation. That was none of this is a secret. It's just a matter of whether or not people want to pay attention to it, and So, beyond that, there's something going on with Russia. Putin's changing his. In my opinion, Putin is changing his. What do I want to call it? The way that he's going about running things. I think that he's no longer aligning with the Western Zionist powers anymore. I think he's working with China to try and destabilize the financial situation that the Zionists have had a hold over for so long. So good things are happening. Very good things are happening. And, you can complain about Trump doing this and Trump doing that, or not doing this and not doing that. But at the end of the day, the things that he's doing are making more positive changes for this country than any president we've had before, in terms of getting rid of the power structure that has been in place, that has been preventing us from moving forward at all. Now, I think that Putin is trying to give Trump as much leeway as possible in trying to see what he's going to do and see if it's going to be in line with what Putin's agenda is. And I think that Putin's agenda and Trump's agenda are similar. It's just a matter of how much control does Trump have, how much stuff is he going to go along with just to not make waves so that he could try to come around and cut them from behind at another time. A lot of that stuff is going on. He can't just blatantly come out and try to, stop everything all at once, because the ball has been rolling for too long. There's just too much momentum with the United States economy and a lot of the stuff going on behind the scenes. So, all in all, Trump's really not that great of a guy, but he's helping us. And at this point, I feel like the smartest thing to do is to sit back and watch and let him do what he's doing and see what he can accomplish while he's there. He's already done more than I expected him to. He's from the very beginning, I had my eye on Trump and have been trying to figure out where his allegiances lie. Whose agenda is he following? Or is he following his own agenda? I didn't expect Trump to have that much power, but he seems to have some pretty powerful friends if he's able to combat the existing power structure of the West. But there are some major shifts happening. The situation with Korea is interesting. Now, I personally do believe that Donald Trump did go over there and speak with Kim Jong-un, and using his negotiation tactics, which are superb, he actually did make a peace treaty with Kim Jong-un. Now, however, the only way that I can imagine him doing that is if he told Kim Jong-un in one way or another that he is trying to break down the Zionist powers that have been controlling the Western world for this time. I mean, for since forever. For those of you that don't know and are not familiar with who the Rothschilds are, the Rothschilds own every single national bank besides Iran, Cuba, and North Korea. So if you're wondering why there's so much tension with those countries, that's probably a big factor. They control the global finance market. They control the IMF, the World Bank. The Rothschilds have their finger in every pie, and that's because they're a banking family. They've been in this business for centuries. So that's not an easy thing to dismantle. When that kind of a power structure is in place, yeah. So now the situation with North Korea and South Korea and how they're kind of making a treaty here and they're going to merge or whatever, we have to be careful because it's possible that the Zionists, as a way of, trying to lash out at what's happening, is they could just end up nuking the United States and then blaming it on the new Korean whatever, and try to end up furthering their New World Order agenda that way. Blame it on Korea when it didn't actually, it wasn't Korea, but, then they could say, oh, Trump came in and he caused this treaty and this peace treaty happened, and then North Korea and South Korea started talking, and North Korea corrupted South Korea, and they worked together and they ended up nuking us. When it was the Zionists all along. That's definitely something they would do. So let's be vigilant, keep an eye on what's happening right now, and let Trump do what he's doing. Stop trying to, God, people, I get that people don't like him. I understand that. There's some people that won't like him regardless of what he does. It doesn't matter if he causes world peace and ends world hunger, and it doesn't matter. The people are just not going to like the guy. So anyway, I don't like the guy. Anyway, point is that there's more going on behind the scenes than people realize, and most of the people that don't like Trump would like what he's doing if they actually saw what big changes he was making. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.